there! Here is today's chapter of Kitty and the Sky Garden Adventure. We are on chapter 3. The next evening, there was a tapping on Kitty's bedroom window, just after moonrise. Kitty opened the window and smiled. "Hello, Pixie. You're quite early tonight." "I love being early." Pixie leaped into the room, her green eyes gleaming. "Shall we go back to the Sky Garden now? Wouldn't you like to get some more ideas for your design?" "Yes, I would. It's such a beautiful place." Kitty turned to Pumpkin, who was lying on the bed with his stripy tail wrapped around his ginger tummy. "Are you ready to go, Pumpkin?" Pumpkin stretched his paws and yawned. "I'm ready. I was just having a quick cat nap." Here he is. Kitty put on her cat superhero costume. Then she and Pixie climbed out the window and up to the rooftop. The breeze ruffled Kitty's hair and made her cape swirl around her legs. Stars began appearing one by one like tiny sparks in the darkening sky. Pumpkin climbed after Pixie and Kitty, still yawning. Pixie ran to the edge of the roof and sniffed the air eagerly. "Come on, let's not waste any time." Kitty jumped to the next building, her cape flying out behind her. Pumpkin and Pixie padded after her. They ran along the rooftops and gazed down at the quiet streets below. When they passed the building site, Kitty spotted a pile of empty paint cans lying inside the trash bin. The metal cans glinted as the moon came out from behind a cloud. Pixie streaked ahead, reaching the apartment building with the fire escape. "Slow down, Pixie," called Kitty, laughing. "You're as fast as a cheetah tonight." "I can't help it." Pixie's words floated back to her. "I'm too excited to go any slower." Kitty stopped suddenly, her hand on the rail of the fire escape. There was a lot of mewing and yowling coming from the rooftop. Here they are up on the roof. Sticky pages. She had been too busy talking to Pixie and Pumpkin to notice it before. "Kitty, do you hear that?" Pumpkin shrank back. "Maybe we shouldn't go up there." An ear-splitting screech cut through the night, followed by a burst of wild laughter. A cold prickle ran down Kitty's neck. "That sounds like it's coming from the Sky Garden." She darted up the metal steps, trying to catch up to Pixie. The little white cat hesitated at the edge of the rooftop. Her snowy tail flicked to and fro, and she pinned her ears back in alarm. "Pixie, what's wrong?" Kitty raced up the last few steps. Her heart sank as she reached the top and stared around the crowded garden. There were cats everywhere, black ones, white ones, ginger gray and tabby. They were dashing along the paths, trampling over the flower beds and pouncing on one another in the bushes. 3 cats were climbing the archway of silver birch trees, and several delicate white branches had already snapped off and fallen to the ground. Diggory, the old tortoiseshell cat, was pacing up and down, shaking his head. His fur stood on end and his gray whiskers were shaking. "Get down from there," he mewed at one of the cats in the trees. "Get your paws off that rose bush," he snapped at another. Pixie's tail swished nervously. She gazed around with wide, shocked eyes. "Diggory, what's happening?" cried Kitty. "Where did all these cats come from?" "I don't know. They've been arriving." Oh my gosh, look at the picture. So Diggory says, "I don't know. They've been arriving for hours and they won't leave," growled Diggory. "They've torn down the lights on the honeysuckle trellis and trodden on so many beautiful flowers. I knew it was a mistake to let visitors in here. When Mrs. Lovett sees the garden, she'll be heartbroken." "But why are they here?" I thought. People didn't really visit the garden. Kitty noticed Pixie's ears were drooping. The little cat looked terribly guilty. "Pixie, did you tell lots of cats about this place?" Pixie nodded with a wailing meow. "I'm really sorry. I was just so excited after seeing this place that I told everyone how amazing it was, and I said the cat who lived here wasn't scary at all. I didn't think they'd all rush over and ruin the garden." Diggory shook his head sadly. "What am I supposed to do? These cats won't listen to me. Most of them have rolled in the catnip plant, and nothing I say will stop their ridiculous behavior." "We're so sorry, Diggory," said Kitty, giving Pixie a stern look. "We'll get these cats to leave before things get any worse." Pixie, you guard the catnip plant and don't let any cats touch it. Pumpkin, I will round them up and send them home. Kitty rushed over to a group of cats climbing on the garden bench. She took a deep breath, saying firmly, "It's time to go. And don't come back again unless Diggory invites you." A small tortoiseshell cat tried to hide behind the honeysuckle vines. "You're just a bossy boots," she shouted as Kitty shooed her out of her hiding place. "Be careful, that's the owner's favorite flower," Pumpkin cried as a black cat trampled right through the spring stars bush. A plump cat with thick gray fur and droopy whiskers was perched halfway up the wind chime tree. "Ooh, look, it's the garden police. Why are you making such a fuss? We're only having a bit of fun." He fixed Kitty with his cold blue eyes and flexed his sharp claws. The tree branch rocked and the wind chime jangled. "Your fun is ruining the garden," said Kitty, "and please don't damage that wind chime. It's very precious." The plump cat eyed the wind chime, then he yawned, showing off his pointed teeth. "You can't keep a special place like this all for yourself. It's very selfish." He began grooming his long fur. "Hey, Duke," yelled a small tortoiseshell cat, "come and try out this catnip plant." The plump gray cat waved at the other cat before turning back to Kitty. "Don't you think you should learn to share a little? If you don't, you might be very, very sorry." Kitty frowned. "Why?" "What do you mean?" She broke off and ran to help Pixie, who was struggling to keep cats away from the catnip plant. "You'd better leave quickly," she told them. "If the owner comes out, you'll be in a lot of trouble." Well, the fun is clearly over. Duke climbed down from the wind chime tree and shook his long whiskers angrily. He glared at Kitty again before heading to the edge of the rooftop. When he snapped his claws, the other cats slunk after him, mumbling complaints. "It's not fair," cried the tortoiseshell cat. "We were having a nice time before you came along." Kitty shook her head at the creature's rudeness. The cats crowded toward the fire escape, yelling at one another and trampling on the flower beds. At last, they were gone. A lump rose in Kitty's throat as she gazed around the sky garden. The place had looked so perfect yesterday evening. Crushed petals and torn leaves were scattered across the stepping stones. The earth was covered with paw marks and snapped branches lay on the ground. Pumpkin looked up at Kitty with anxious blue eyes. "What are we going to do?" Kitty looked across at Diggory. The old cat was trying to straighten the bent branches of the spring starbush. A large tear rolled down his furry face. Kitty swallowed. "We're going to fix this. If we work hard as a team, we can put the garden back together again." And that is the end of chapter 3. What a disaster! All those cats came and destroyed the beautiful garden. Sometimes too much of a good thing, right? Well, tomorrow we'll see what happens in chapter 4. Thanks for reading with me today. Bye for now.